Greetings to all of you who serve on one of the boards of the schools and ministries of the District of Eastern North America of the Brothers of the Christian Schools. On behalf of all those who benefit from Lasallian education in our part of the world, I extend my sincere gratitude for your generous service to ensure the sustainability and vitality of the mission. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Brother Robert Schaefer, and I serve as the visitor or provincial of the District of Eastern North America. In preparation for the first board meetings of the year, I wanted to offer you some thoughts for your consideration. First, as the new academic year gets underway, I invite you to take a moment to consider your board service as a ministry primarily to and for the young people entrusted to the care of the school or agency where you serve. But I also invite you to see your service as a ministry with the church, a church which calls us to witness to the gospel of Jesus Christ and to respond to the ongoing inspiration of the Holy Spirit to face the challenges of our day. For these are indeed challenging times. Board service can be considered a vocation of sorts. Each of you has responded to a call or an invitation to be of service to a project that is part of something bigger than just the local context. Your school or agency is part of a global Lasallian mission that seeks to touch hearts and transform lives through educational service and accompaniment. And while this service might be just for a particular time, nevertheless, it is important for you to see your role as sharing very much in the mission that has been entrusted to the brothers and Lasallian partners across the globe. I encourage you to see the mission you support in your local context as part of something much bigger, a global mission in service to the reign of God. Because if you stop to think about it, every time a mind is open to discover the truth, every time a heart is moved to offer service to someone in need, God's kingdom becomes a bit more present. It becomes a bit more real. Since the beginning of our Lasallian story in 1680, the response to the call to build up God's kingdom on earth as it is in heaven has been through the establishment of schools and educational centers that offer young people a space where they discover the truths of the created world through a quality education so that they can mature into contributing and responsible citizens. But just as important, our school and centers provide the space for our students to discover the truth about God who created them in His own image and likeness, and who offers them an abundant life meant to be lived in Christian discipleship and in service to others. The blending of these two aspects, a quality education and formation in gospel values, is what we mean when we speak of the human and Christian education of the young. Over the centuries, these schools and centers have developed a shared identity, described as Lasallian. Governance must always have as its priority the preservation and transmission of this Lasallian identity or charism, because it is a great gift to the world. I invite you to continue to grow in your knowledge and understanding of our Lasallian identity, especially in the context of today's many challenges. Like me, I think you will come to see that it is a powerful antidote to the many ills facing our society. One of the key characteristics that gives strength to our Lasallian identity is our network. Certainly, the priority of board governance is the challenge and concerns of the local school and center. Your fiduciary responsibility as board members for the institution you serve is clear. But I want to invite you to cast a wider view this year. This past May, the 46th General Chapter of the Brothers of the Christian Schools was held in Rome. The General Chapter is one of the most significant events in the worldwide Lasallian community. Happening every 7 years, the chapter gathers brother delegates from around the world to discern the challenges facing our community and many ministries, and to develop plans for a strategic response. It's also the time when the election of the new international leadership takes place. This was the 46th time since 1694, when John Baptist de La Salle called for the first chapter, that the brothers have met. This General Chapter has issued a striking challenge for all of us engaged and committed to Lasallian educational service. We are being asked to begin to consciously work in a more unified and global way to have an impact on the world through the transformative education we provide. For the first time, I believe, words like leverage and optimization were used to describe some of the global strategies being developed. If our Lasallian institutions can more effectively cooperate on a global scale, the impact will be powerful. The call of the chapter was for all of us to work towards strengthening our sense of being part of one LaSalle, one global family, inspired by the charism of our founder, to transform the lives of young people, especially those who do not have access to quality Catholic education and meaningful accompaniment. During an audience with our Holy Father, Pope Francis, he urged us to join a global compact on education. And this is what the Pope had to say to us, and I quote him: "We are aware that the world is experiencing an educational emergency. The educational pact is broken. We must seek a new pact. This educational emergency is made more acute by the consequences of the pandemic. The two great challenges of our time, the challenge of fraternity, learning to live together as brothers and sisters, and the challenge of caring for the common home, cannot be answered except through the education. Both are primarily educational challenges. And thank God," the Holy Father says, "the Christian community has been engaged in this work for some time now, trying to build new paths to transform the way of life, and you, brothers and Lasallians, are part of this construction project. Indeed, you are on the front line, educating so as to move from a closed world to an open world, from a throwaway culture to a culture of care, from a culture of rejection to a culture of integration, from the pursuit of vested interests to the pursuit of the common good. As educators, you know very well that this transformation must start from the conscience, or it will only be a facade. And you also know that you cannot do this work alone, but by cooperation in an educational alliance. In the years ahead, the international leadership of our institute is going to be calling on us, the various ministries of the District of Eastern North America, to actively participate in new and creative global initiatives that will extend our mission to those in need. We certainly have much to contribute and much to receive. During this year, I invite you to learn more about the international dimensions of Lasallian education and look for ways to engage with the global Lasallian community. In today's context, an international educational experience not only enhances the school experience for our students and faculty, but it builds bonds of friendship across the globe that can lead to lasting peace and harmony in our world. What an opportunity we have. Once again, I want to thank you for your willingness to serve as a board member for an important Lasallian ministry. Your role is an essential part of God's mission. Together, all of us in the District of Eastern North America and around the world can ensure that human and Christian education for those who have been entrusted to our care will have a vital and sustainable future. Let us keep in mind the words frequently used by John Baptist de La Salle: "Lord, the work is yours." Live Jesus in our hearts forever.